So, good morning, children. A warm welcome to all. So, let us begin our taxonomy, the systematics, and the first topic origin and evolution of angiosperms. Okay. So, among all the organisms inhabiting on the earth, the angiosperms or the flowering plants have the greatest number of species and occupy more types of habitats. So in your UG and other PG classes, you studied the algae, fungi, bryophyte, pteridophyte, so on, gymnosperms, etc. So now you can see these angiosperms or the flowering plants are occurring maximum number of species. Okay, and they are occurring in the wide habitats area also. It includes, shrubs, trees, climbers, epiphytes, parasites, so on. Okay. And Charles Darwin, the father of evolution, Charles Darwin called the origin of angiosperms was an abominable mystery. Hmm? Because yeah, there is only little evidence available to trace the origin of angiosperms. So original evolution is still in challenge to the paleobotanist. So that's a problem while discussing the origin of angiosperms. But there are so many theories proposed by different scientists, and they also placed so many supporting evidences to prove the origin of angiosperms. There are actually two broad concepts. One is monophyletic, another one is polyphyletic. You may study this in the, your evolutionary classes, evolution classes. Okay. So monophyletic or polyphyletic, whether angiosperms, monophyletic or polyphyletic, whether originated from a common ancestor or from different ancestors simultaneously. Okay, so there are still discussions going on about this, the monophyletic or polyphyletic origins of angiosperms. So here we are going to discuss the very important that some theories to explain this. So primitive orders, about dicotyledons, monocotyledons, and basic ideas of classification. Everything is studied in your UG classes. So primitive orders of dicots and monocots are characterized by groups of families, and that do not bear any close relationship. Okay, so there are about 10 lines in the first group, ranales. There are 10 lines, and in monocot there are 3 to 4 lines. Okay, so there is a great diversity in the primitive families that suggests the polyphyletic origin. Okay, but you can see, so in this you can see there are some other cases also. The strong evidences like for polyphyletic origin are variety of perianth, maybe have a single wall, two walls, likewise the nature of carpels, etc. support the polyphyletic origin. But there are some that support monophyletic origin, means all these originated from a single ancestor at a single time. Okay, so that common ancestor, that concept. So evidence is mainly stamens having four microsporangia, four sporangia, then pollen grains, the shape and structure monocolpate, follicular, leafy carpels, anatropous ovule. They are having, and such fossil evidences or such evidences, not fossil, such evidences supports a monophyletic theory. So whatever it may, monophyletic or polyphyletic, still now scientists are in the effort to prove whether angiosperms are monophyletic or polyphyletic. Okay, so now we are going to discuss the various theories from the various ancestors or from which the plants originated, angiosperm originated. Okay, so almost every group of vascular plants has been regarded as ancestor of angiosperms. Even algae, you studied the algae, that unicellular to colonial, to filamentous, to the heteromorphic forms, and like up to the Cara, that the particular evolutionary pattern, thallus organization, evolution of thallus. Okay, so we can also say algae may be the ancestor. And there are such different concepts regarding the theory of or the evolution. Okay, and based on that, we can have some more theories. So we can explain some theories for origin of angiosperms one by one. Okay, so first one we are going to discuss isoetus monocotyledon theory. You studied isoetus in your first semester class. Isoetus, that is iso-Italian ancestry of monocotyledons. Okay, and this is proposed by Campbell in 1928. The scientist, namely Campbell, in 1928. And this theory is based on the similarity between two species. One is isoetus, isoetus, that pteridophyte, and a monocot. The name of the monocot is, you can see, Najas flacilis. Okay, so morphological similarity between isoetus and a Najas flacilis, that supports the theory of iso-Italian ancestry of monocotyledons. Okay, so both are aquatic or amphibious. Okay, and both found in humid tropics. And according to Campbell, the similarity in habit and also in embryo, and also in anatomy, this supports that evidences. Okay, and so many other scientists, including Engler, and they are actually against this concept. Okay, so according to Engler, it is not represented in the fossils. Okay, so they are sharing on the basis of similarities in the vascular bundles and all. We cannot say this. So this theory is highly unacceptable. This is highly unacceptable because monocotyledons are now considered as the advanced group. Okay, pteridophytes are primitive than angiosperms, but here they are considering the relationship between monocots and isoetus. So, if thinking so, monocot should be the first one in the angiosperm, but it is considered as the last one in the angiosperms because they are highly advanced. So, this theory is a completely unacceptable theory. But for examination, you have to write it. Isoetus monocotyledon theory. Name of the plant also Najas flacilis. Okay. Now, second very important theory is the Bennett-Italian theory. It's very important theory, Bennett-Italian theory. You studied Bennett-Itales, the group in fossil gymnosperm. Okay. So this is proposed by Sapota and Marion in 1885. Okay. And the connection between the resemblances in the structure, the strobili of Cycadodia, the Cycadodia and Williamsonia, two important fossil members in Bennett-Itales. So Cycadodia, you have studied it. Cycadodia, its strobilus can be compared with the flower Magnolia. This is the Magnolia flower of angiosperms. A primitive family is Magnoliaceae. It's a primitive family. Okay, very starting a basic character sharing, primitive family, and the flower of that magnolia, the plant. Okay, this flower Magnolia have some similarity with the strobilus of Cycadodia. Okay, what are the characters that they are sharing? First one is both are bisexual. It's important one, and both have an axis in which the floral whorls are arranged. See here, that axis, and on both sides floral whorls are arranged. Here also you can see axis on which both floral whorls are arranged. That is the first similarity. Okay, and protective bracts. In the case of Magnolia, you can call the protective bract as perianth. Here it is known as bract, protective bract. That is one more similarities. Okay, then microsporophylls. That is, in the case of Magnolia, you can call it as stamens. And microsporophylls, here it is microsporophyll in gymnosperm, but in angiosperm, in Magnolia, it is stamen. The stamens are the primitive stamens. Okay, stamens are the primitive stamens. They are free, spirally arranged on the axis. So those that are free, numerous in number, spirally arranged on the axis are considered as primitive. Okay, free, spirally arranged on the axis are numerous, considered as primitive. That is present in the Magnolia flower also. Okay. In Bennett-Itales, cone-like coinate appearance surrounded by the that microsporophylls. Okay, so these are the fundamental similarities. Then Bennett-Itales, there are presence of ovule and micropylar tube, integument, etc. But here in Magnolia, that are all totally absent. That's the difference. Okay. Then another difference is Bennett-Italian seed. That is exalbuminous seed, only embryo filling, no nutritive tissue. Nutritive tissue is entirely absent. So there are some differences also, but this theory got support also. But we can say this may not be the ancestor of angiosperms because there's a only possibility. Okay, so only possibility. That's a condition of Bennett-Italian theory. So compare Bennett-Italian Cycadodia flower or Cycadodia strobilus with that of the primitive flower magnolia. Okay, compare in the features and write. Clear? Okay. Next important theory is Chitonian theory. You know, Chitonia is also an important fossil studied in your gymnosperms. This theory is proposed by Thomas and supported by Stubbins. Okay, and this theory, according to this, the Chitonials occur in the Middle Jurassic period, and they have the angiosperm-like anthers. That's very important. They have angiosperm-like anthers. You know, you studied that angiosperm-like anthers, pinnate structures also. Okay, and these structures can be compared with branched stamens in Ricinus. Ricinus is a plant, you know, avanak. Branched stamens in Ricinus. So that is the important comparison. And Chitonials are characterized by a curved cup-like structure. You know this curved cup-like structure, cupule. This can be inside that the seeds or ovule arranged. This cupule can be compared with the carpels in angiosperms. So that are the two fundamental similarities. Okay. Then Chitonials have a leaf-like pattern, leaf structures. They have net-like reticulative venation, etc. Okay. So that's why that comparison. But there are even though some relationship, but in totally it cannot be considered as angiosperms. Why? The megasporophil nature, then the microsporophil nature, presence of pollination drops, then fleshy canal. See these fleshy canals inside the this cupule. They are all not supporting this theory. Okay, so this is also for evidence that describing that angiosperms originated from gymnosperms, Chitonian line. Okay, and Chitonian ancestry of angiosperms. Clear? Okay. So there you have to mention some of the similarities and some of the dissimilarities. Clear? Next, this is the some supporting evidences, the homologies of the structure of Chitonia and angiosperms. Homology of the structure. See, this you can be compared like this cupule compare with the carpels. This can be compared with the ovary, and this canal, micropenal canal, can be compared with the style likewise. So foliar origin, so on. Okay, so that's only some supporting evidences. Now, next is another important theory, that is pteridosperm theory. So pteridosperms actually they are used as they are known as a seed ferns. Okay, they are considered as ancestor of angiosperms by Long in 1966. So the features mainly include a reticulative venation. See, leaf having reticulative venations. That's important. Then microsporophil and megasporophils present. Another point, this having some similarity with the stamens also. Then development of certain gametophytic structures having some similarity. So the one example is Glossopteris. Glossopteris, you know, the structure of very important leaf, the variation in the leaf. Glossopteris having big seed ferns. They are very closest to angiosperms, Glossopteris. Okay, and this theory is supported by Melville also. And there are some problems that there are two serious objections. One is the scalariform xylem element. Xylem having scalariform reticulated spiral arrangements. So scalariform xylem never occur in pteridosperms, but they are common in angiosperms. That's a main description. No satisfactory explanation for cupule. Okay, so cupule, there is no satisfactory explanation, and there is no that is scalariform xylem elements, etc. And so, some plants having angiosperm plants having some resemblances with close resemblances with the pteridophytes, pteridosperm seed ferns. Okay. Next is pentosilane theory. So pentosilanes, you know, the five steels based on that the name given. And this pentosilane having some comparison with the plant that existing now, an angiosperm plant Pandanus. You maybe heard about Pandanus, a monocotyledon plant. This have Kaida in Malayalam, an erect habit. Okay, and this is having tuft of leaves at the apex. You can see tuft of leaves and axillary inflorescence, peduncle, etc. And this pentoxylon have some leaf pattern, some reproductive part having some resemblances with this that pandanus. So according to Muse in 1935 first, sorry 25 first, then then after description actually it is coming in true in 1971. Okay, it's a mistake here, not 1961. 1961 is considered as the first description. Okay, then 1971 later it is supported by many scientists. Okay, so it's correct 1961 starting by Muse, and based on the similarities they consider pendoxylales may be the ancestor of angiosperms. Okay, then next one is Sekanoscalian theory. It's a recent one. By comparison of some fossils with this that of Drimys piperata, Sekanoskia fossils showing some resemblances with the plant, namely Drimys. Drimys is a common plant, so they have some resemblances with Drimys. So this group, Sekanoskia, is characterized by linear leaves, okay, parallel venation, etc. And in the later Jurassic period, they observed with the capsule valves. That's also the stigmatic band, etc. also observed. So in the gross morphology, they have resemblance with certain angiosperms. That is known as Sekanoscalian theory. Sekanoskia is the plant, fossilized plant. Then next comes the another very important theory, that is gonophyll theory proposed by Melville. This is a very important theory, gonophyll theory. Usually for the examinations, these questions are asking what is meant by gonophyll theory and what are the significance of gonophyll theory. So Melville stated that the reproductive branch of Glossopteridales, Glossopteridales belongs to the seed fern pteridosperms. So that can be compared with the present day angiosperms. One example is also given. That's gonophyll theory. Okay, Melville in 1963. That's ovary of angiosperm was a leaf. That's important. Ovary of angiosperm was a leaf with uh, structure known as gonophyll. Gonophyll, that fertile branch. The fertile branch is known as gonophyll. Okay. So ovary of angiosperm was a leaf with a fertile branch. That that fertile branch bearing ovary is known as, see these structures. These structures are known as what? Gonophyll. Okay. So Glossopteris is having such a gonophyll fructification. Glossopteris having such a gonophyll fructification. Okay. And another peculiar point is that the existence of nectaries and corona on petals and epiphyllous inflorescence. So nectaries present on the petals, and corona is the external structure, a special petal-like structure observed on the petals. That is, they are the external outgrowth, nectaries and corona, on leaves, petals, etc. That are supporting for this gonophyll theory. So what is gonophyll? Gonophyll is the leaf with a fertile branch. See, that can bear that carpels or stamens or whatever it may. Okay. So this is very important theory proposed by Melville, Glossopteridalian theory. It is also known as Glossopteridalian theory. Clear? Okay. Now, next very important theory is that is coniferales amendiferae theory. It's very important one. Coniferal amendiferae theory. You know what you may not be known what is amendiferae. So amendiferae are a group of families, that is Casuarinaceae, Salicaceae, and Fagaceae. They are actually group of family Salicaceae, Fagaceae, and Casuarinaceae. And this theory is proposed by Eckler in 1875, then Engler in 1882, Engler and Prandtl in 1924. Okay. Then so many other scientists supported. They all pointed out what are the basic thing: resemblance of angiosperms to conifers. Resemblance of angiosperms to conifers. Okay. So conifer pinus. See, these are two images. One is the image of Casuarina. See, you can see this is the image of Casuarina. This is Pinus. Okay. So see, while at a glance, you can see some similarities. So that is the similarity, coniferates and ameniferae. Okay. The inflorescence will appear like in both cases, inflorescence is simple naked flowers. Okay. Inflorescence is simple and naked flowers. They are like strobilus, small strobilus. And this theory is now considered as an advanced, is actually an acceptable, is not an acceptable theory because Amendiferae is considered as an advanced group. Okay. This theory is not an acceptable one because Amendiferae is now considered as an advanced group of angiosperms. Okay. Then wood anatomy, etc., is also in Amendiferae very advanced. So we cannot accept the theory. So anyway, coniferal amendiferous theory is also very important while writing the origin of angiosperms. Clear? Okay. So these are the explanations. The flowers are simple and naked, like okay. Seeds are covered with angiosperms. During fertilization, agathis and orchidia and other coniferae, pollens deposited in the scale leaves, bracts scale or oviviferous scale. Only the pollen tube enter in the microphyll. This feature is very similar to angiosperm. That's a resemblance. See, resemblance. But what is the wood anatomy and all others? They are not showing any resemblance. Clear? Now, next is Ephedral's theory. Actually, this theory, Ephedral's theory, you can combine with the Nettles theory. Okay, Nettles angiosperm theory. Nettles included three groups: Netum, Ephedra, and Welwitschia. This is also a most advanced, theory because most of probably we discussing this theory, and you in your gymnosperm classes also you studied the advanced features of nettles, how it resembles with angiosperm, etc. And this theory proposed by Wettstein in 1901 and supported by various other scientists like Fagerlint, Doyle, etc. in 2000 even. Okay. And nettles resemble many aspects. One example you can say presence of two cotyledons. Okay, it's very important. Presence of vessels in secondary wood, two integuments, and leaf nature, etc. They resemble that of angiosperms. Okay, so so we can say they are the ancestors. Okay, then in the Ephedra, Welwitschia also having somewhat same features, vessels. But in some angiosperm family, one example of the family is Vindiraceae, Nymphaceae, etc., having xylem without a vessel. Okay, Nymphaceae and Vindiraceae having xylem without a vessel. Okay, and also certain other investigations shown that vessels in Welwitschia, Ephedra, Netum, etc., are originated entirely different from those of angiosperms. Okay, so vessels originated in a particular way in angiosperms. It is not like that the vessels originated in gymnosperms. So that are the two arguments, means opposite arguments. Okay, so there are so many resemblances, but there are so many dissimilarities also. Nettles angiosperm theory. Okay. Now next is the Durian theory. What do you mean by Durian theory? This is mainly based on a plant, namely that name of the plant is Durio sibanthinus. This plant belongs to the family of Bombaceae. Okay, Durio sibanthinus. So the member of Bombaceae observed in the Malayan forest. Okay, it is considered as the surviving model of primitive angiosperm. Surviving model that is now existing model of primitive angiosperms. It's a primitive angiosperm. Durio sibanthinus is a primitive angiosperm, and this is proposed by Corner. Okay, it has cauliflorus. What do you mean by cauliflorus? That flower originated from the stem. See, like this, and that flower become fruit originated from the stem. That is cauliflorus. So it is a angiosperm with a cauliflorus tree and bear large colored spiny capsules. Large colored spiny capsules. And very important point is presence of aril seed. You know what is aril? Aril is an important nature that is observed in most of the angiosperm. Okay. So, and according to the theory, primitive angiosperms are mesophytic. Okay, primitive angiosperms are mesophytic and tropical in distribution. And the primitive angiosperms are like cycads with tree habitat, compound leaves, etc. Okay, and arylate seeds. So these are actually a living example of primitive angiosperms and showing some means this is the primitive appearance. Okay, so a member of Bombaceae, and this plant is considered as the primitive angiosperms, and this is an important means I mean and supporting evidence. There are 45 angiosperm family, okay, that show irrelated genera. Okay, and this theory is also criticized by many morphologists, including Parkin. Okay, so this is also very important, you have to study. Okay, although some groups have been eliminated as ancestors of angiosperms, according to Darwin's, this is not completely solved. So here we are presenting some possible or some possibility or chances only. Actually, the problem is not at all solved. Okay, so from seed fern or from this, I mean, from gymnosperms, whatever it may be, it evolved. Anyway, there are certain groups of first angiosperms, certain group of first angiosperms, we can call them as proangiosperms. So a group of first angiosperm, we can call them as proangiosperms. Okay, so here we discussed the theories for origin of angiosperms. What are they? Nettles angiosperm theory, Durian theory, Coniferae lamentiferae theory, Pendosilene theory, Gonophyll theory, Pteridospermian theory, Chitonian theory, Bennettitalian theory, then etc. So go through. This is an essay question usually asking. So you have to prepare well for writing an essay. So points of that similarity and a dissimilarity. That's very important under every paragraph. So okay. So I hope you understood well. So have a nice day. Thank you.